YouTube.
Hello, friends.
YouTube and Facebook.
Hello, guys. I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook where you can eat better, spend less. We have real food for real families.
What?
Our food budget is $300 a month. Using my books, I put the tips and trips in here right now. Today, we are talking about our family budget. We have a budget for 4 or a budget for a family of 6, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, we're like, is it a family of 4 or a family of 6?
Yeah, this is our 2019 budget. This is our household budget. And we are going to answer the question, what is your budget today? Did you catch all that?
You silly girl.
All right, so we are answering the question today, what is your budget? Now, our food budget, using Dining on a Dime cookbook, all the principles in here, is $300 a month. Right now, the book is on back order till September 1st. So, just so you know, we had a printing issue, and it is back ordered till September 1st.
But if you want the ebook,
It is.
we do have the ebook for half price through today.
Yes, and all of our ebooks are 50% off, which includes our How to Save Money on Groceries e-course, which has 10 videos and I think 7 ebooks. It includes our How to Make Soap for Beginners e-course for those of you wanting soap making, and then all of our other wonderful ebooks. So, okay, Dave, it's okay. All right, so today we are talking about our budget. Now, this is our 2019 budget. These are numbers from April, because in May we
Boom! We paid off our house.
paid off our house.
So it changed a little.
So it changed. And
But we're actually going to share the ones from April because we know most people still have mortgage or rent. So we're sharing what we did when we still had the
yes.
mortgage.
So,
Yep.
I don't know. Do you think anybody cares what our budget is? I'm sure they care.
Sure.
All those nosy people want to know, don't they?
Yeah. But also the tips on budgeting, I'm sure.
So, here's our tips on budgeting. We're going to start off with this real quick here. We don't budget. So, I'll tell you, Mike went and wrote up this budget today, but our budget for a family of 4 is no budget. So here's the thing. I know all the gurus and everything say write out a budget, have all this, write out this and that. But here's the thing, guys. Growing up in
Elizabeth says, I care because I'm nosy.
growing up in the situation I did where my mom raised 2 teenagers on $500 a month, you can't budget on $500 a month. You either have the money or you don't have the money. So for me, I came into our marriage where our household budget just depended on if we had the money or we didn't. And if we didn't spend it. And if we did, then we did spend it. So when we didn't have the money, we just cut back more. And when we had the money, we spent a little bit more. So we're going to discuss a little bit of that as we're going through specific numbers. These are specific, is that okay? Specific numbers, keeps blurring, for us as of April 2019, okay?
But we did have a couple years where I guess we just put together a budget to show people, not so much because we were using it,
Yeah,
right? Back
no.
in the
Yeah.
2005 and 6 area.
So Michael shared our budget from 2006, but we put together, because people ask us about budgets all the time. And so we put together a budget form. So if you want to go see our budget form, we have a fill out form that you can use for yourself. We don't use spreadsheets. We don't color code everything. I mean, that's fine if that helps you. To me, that's just a lot of work that you don't need to do.
But we did put together a budget for kind of what our expenses are now.
Yeah. So we literally just
share.
write it down on a piece of paper, and that's what it is. Okay. So
Yeah, and on one side we just have all the things, and then we have the amount for each item, and then we total it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't starting.
Well, you look like you were going to show it, but then you didn't.
Well, I didn't. Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, off the top of anything for the month. Now, we're not going to share this amount, but I will say that off the top, every month, no matter what, we give 10% of our budget. No, we give 10% of our income to our church, or if we don't have a church at the time, to a reputable church organization, or if we're going to church online, we'll send it to that church. Like we were going to Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale online for a while we were looking for a church, so we sent our tithe there. We currently send our tithe to our current church now. Now, we're going to do a whole video on tithing after we get back from the trip, but the thing is, we have tithed every single month. Every single month. We have never, ever missed it. And even when it got to the point where we didn't send in our tithe, and I literally had a quarter left in my wallet, I put that in for our tithe at the offering plate. The next day, we got a $250 insurance check we weren't expecting. It was a refund from overpaying our insurance, and we didn't know it. So, God has always been faithful for us. Every time we've had a financial problem, it's always been taken care of. So we tithe. That's what we believe. We are Christian. For those of you who are wondering, we are evangelical Christians. And so we tithe. We also do, well, I wouldn't exactly call it sacrificial because really it's not a sacrifice for us. But we do giving above and beyond our tithe also as we feel led to do also. So if we find someone that we hear is having an issue, or we just feel like God is telling us that we need to send that person some money, we also do that above and beyond, okay? So first of all, our tithe goes off the top of that. Now, the first thing we pay every single month, no matter what, is our mortgage or our rent.
Oh, what are we going to do now?
But now that our mortgage is paid off, we don't have to pay off our mortgage. We don't have to pay our mortgage. But when we did before, our mortgage was $1,258 a month. That was for this house in Colorado. That is the highest mortgage we've ever had in our marriage. We got our loan in 2011, and we had was it $40,000 or $60,000 loan?
It was $140,000.
$140,000 loan. Yeah, that's right. We put down 60, didn't we?
Yeah, we put $60,000 down and then got a loan for $140,000 on a $200,000 house, which was like twice the price of the house we had.
So in our budget of a family of four, we always, never, without a doubt, pay our mortgage first. Okay, because you need a place to live. So when Mike was laid off, when we had decided to move, or when we had decided to change jobs, it did not matter. We always paid our mortgage first, okay? The next thing is, now that our mortgage is paid off, we have to pay insurance and taxes on our house ourselves. So that is going to be, it's $140 for the insurance on our house, and then the taxes are about, give or take, $200 a month. We pay it all at once every 6 months, but if you were to break it down monthly, now our taxes are about $150 for all of our taxes, and then our insurance, and then our taxes are about $200 to $250. I can't remember for sure.
And Mike's going to interrupt for a second and say, one reason why we don't like the budget exactly by the month is because we don't think of things monthly. We think of them as how quick can we get the payment out of the way. So, like, for the when we used to have to be more careful with the monthly, we did. But now,
Yeah.
like the car insurance, we pay it all at once.
Yeah.
And we get a big discount for those things.
Yeah. Exactly. So we make sure that we set aside every month enough to pay our insurance or taxes every 6 months. Every 6 months, we make sure that is set aside. Okay.
We have a question. Andrea asks, mortgage first and let credit cards, etc., be paid late?
Yes. You have to have a place to live. It's not going to do you any good. I mean, it's fine if you want to sell your house or not rent and live in your car so that you can pay off your credit cards and all that go for it. I'm fine with that. I think that's fine. But because we have children going extreme like that, we didn't want to do that. So we paid our mortgage first. But I've heard of people who have literally sold everything they own, live in their car to get completely out of debt for 6 months or a year, get completely out of debt, and they've done that, and that's totally fine if you want to do that or something.
But even at our worst times, we always paid the mortgage or the rent first, if we had whichever we had.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, let me get that one. Electric. So our electric runs about $175 on average. During the summer, it goes up $2 to $2.50 sometimes.
And in the winter, less.
And then in the winter, it's less. So that's our electric. Now, we have 6 people living in our home currently.
Yeah, we're getting questions about, aren't we a family of 6?
Yeah. So, but let me explain that right now since everybody's asking. Okay, so here's the deal. We are a family of 6 living in this home, but really a family of 4 is all that Mike and I are paying expenses for. So we get, between the 2 of them, $450 rent for BJ and Ellie. They pay us rent since they are not in school and they are working adults now. They are getting ready to move out probably sometime about when we get back from our trip. They're both planning on moving somewhere around there. They pay all of their expenses. So BJ and Ellie both, all their car expenses. They pay their own cell phone expenses. They pay all their own clothes, medical. They pay everything now. Ellie is still, because she's under 21, on our medical insurance at the moment. But once she turns, she's going to start paying that herself also. So they pay for all of their everything. So they're living in our home, but they're paying us, between the 2 of them, $450 a month rent. We start at age 19. We start at age 19, then paying rent. And then the rent goes up every birthday. And then they need to be getting gone by the time they're 21 to somewhere around there. So they're getting close on that. So.
At first, it was kind of a token amount just to get them used to the idea that that's the direction we're moving. And now it's getting to be more representative of what it costs for them to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next. So anyway, so that's why we said a family. This is our budget for a family of 4. You can do a budget for a family of 6, however you want to do that. But BJ and Ellie do pay their expenses now. Okay, gas. Our gas bill is about $60. Again, in the winter, that'll go up to $100, $125. In the summer, that will go down. Water, $75, give or take. In the summer, that, once again, we live in Colorado where it's really dry and we have to water our yard every day or it dies. It can go up to $150, and I'm very conservative on the watering. There are families around here who will water and their bill is $300 a month. So our bill being $75 to $150 a month is actually really good. Sewer, we pay $21 a month for sewer. Internet, we pay...
$21 a month is trash. Sewer, $75.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, let me look at this again. Hold on, I've got my... Okay, let's go back here. Electric, okay, guys, I messed up here. Hold on. Electric is $175 average, but that goes up, of course. Gas is $45. Sorry. I got my numbers mixed up on my lines here. And that in the winter will go up to like 100 for heat. Water is 60, but that still will go up to 100 to 150 depending on the year. Sewer is 75. Trash is 21. Okay, here we go. Internet is $109. Now, I know all of you may be freaking out about that, but we have to have the whippiest internet we can get to run these live shows. So if we didn't pay $109, this would not...
You wouldn't be hearing us right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't be seeing us right now. So...
And it just went down, actually, because our company revised their prices, so yay.
And for us, that is a business expense, so we can take it off on our business. Landline is $25 a month. We have to have that for phone interviews, for newspaper, radio, that kind of thing. For our business, we have to have the landline for that. So, cell phones. $90 for Mike and I, 2 cell phones, so $45 each.
We could probably do that cheaper if we were going to do it a different way, but we have no contracts or anything on
Yeah, that's no contract. Pay each month. Food is $300, give or take a month. Now, for the budget for a family of 4, on our food, BJ and Ellie eat food probably 50% of the time. They'll eat our family food, so to speak, and then the rest of the time they'll buy their own stuff or do other things. So now for social and entertainment, we spend about $120 a month, give or take. 120, anywhere between 100 to 150 is about what we spend. Occasionally we'll go up to 200, like if we want to go to the Renaissance Festival, we'll do something special like that. That happens like once a year, maybe. Then that month it'll go up a little bit, but usually we average about 120. What does social and entertainment include? Mostly eating out. So like our family goes after church on Sundays to Wendy's for dinner. We spend...
That's like the only time we eat out, really.
Yeah, we spend about $11 or $12 for the 4 of us to go out to Wendy's after dinner, after church for dinner. Mike and I will go on a date and we'll go out and split a dinner that's usually $15 to $20, and we'll split it. Sometimes we just go to Chipotle and split $8. And we'll do that 2 times a month on average is about what we do. Okay, now health expenses. We have Liberty Health Share for our health insurance. It's not an insurance, it's a health share. Everyone pays in and then everyone pays each other's bills is basically how it works. You can look that up. I'm not going to go into it today.
But we do it because the cost is lower.
Yeah.
And we have to be a little more careful not to just go to the doctor for no reason.
So for our health insurance, it is $550 a month for 5 of us. BJ is not on our health insurance. For the 5 of us, it is $550 a month. And then we have a $1,500 a year deductible for the whole family. So usually because we have a big family, we spend that deductible. So we spend about $700 a month on just health insurance, okay? But then on top of that, we have miscellaneous uncovered medical things. And that includes things like we get a massage once a week. It is $50 for that, includes the tip. That is something that we decided to do when we finally started to get more income. When our income went significantly higher, we decided to do that. Then the next medical line is for miscellaneous medical stuff like my supplements, If we need like counseling, or if there's a specialty medical thing that we'll need, or whatever, dental work, that kind of stuff, is all in that additional $200 a month. So total, we spend $1,400 a month on medical, just for basic medicals. So like in 2017, when we had to take our son to the Mayo Clinic, we spent more than $30,000 on medical that year. And so our medical can vary quite a bit, but our base medical expenses are $1,400 a month. But that includes all the supplements I'm on. I'm on a lot of supplements for my fibromyalgia. Okay, auto repairs. So, as you guys know, we only spend $3,000 a month on auto. We only spend $3,000 to buy a car. Usually, if we buy a minivan or something, it's a little bit more expensive. But for repairs on those cars, we spend about $175 a month. That's averaged. You know, like 1 month we'll have to spend $600 getting stuff repaired, and then we won't have to have any repairs for 6 or 8 months. So that's averaged. Registration is $17 on our 5 cars. Gas is, $17 on our 2 cars. Sorry, on our 2 cars. Okay. Gas. We spend about $100 a month on gas driving everywhere we need to go, okay? Insurance. We spend about $115 a month for our 1, 2, 3, for 3 cars. So that includes Ellie's car, so she reimburses us for about $20 or so a month for her car for that. So, general merchandise, non-food, $125 a month. That's stuff like toilet paper, dish soap, lens wipes for our glasses, all that kind of stuff. Clothes and shoes, we spend about $50 a month for the entire family. And what that will be is, like, Dave needed a new pair of hiking boots this month, so he got the hiking boots. I needed new clothes, so I went to the thrift store and got new clothes. And so this month I spent like $125, but I'm not going to spend anything the next 2 months. So it's just kind of averaged out $50 a month. Haircut, about $15 a month. That's for David, Jack, and I. The boys go get a haircut about every 8 weeks. I go get a haircut about every 4 to 5 months. I spend more on mine, but not that much. Okay, birthdays and gifts and holidays. We spend about $100 a month on gifts and holiday things and Christmas, birthdays, all those kinds of things. Okay, so then here's the numbers, I guess. So our total expenses before we paid off our house was $3,900 when you take away the rent that we get from the older kids. Now that the house is paid off, our total expenses are $2,800 a month. But to put that in perspective, guys, our expenses are $2,800 a month, but 44% of that is medical stuff. Okay? So to put that into perspective, not quite half our income goes for medical stuff. Now,
but some of that we could do without if we were in a more desperate situation.
So, yeah. So here's the thing. So if we were in a desperate situation, let's say the internet went down, we didn't have any business anymore, what would we do? Well, we would cut the electric and we would cut the gas lower down. We wouldn't run the air conditioner. We would run it at 78 or 80 instead of running it at 72 to 75 in the summer. We would run the heat at 65 instead of running it at 70 or 72. We would cut the food even more. The food is pretty low, $300 a month, but that does include things like some chips for the kids, and I'll buy some canned biscuits now and then. But we would cut all of that stuff out. Medical, we would of course cut out the massages. Mike massaged me for years, and so he helped relieve my fibromyalgia pain that way. And I just taught him how to, rub the trigger points, and he would massage so that I wouldn't have to pay for that.
Well, and partly on the massage, there's a point where we realized, we had more room in the budget, and we were trying to see if we could make Tara feel better than she was.
And I am. And a lot of people say, how am I able to do so much with my fibromyalgia? Well, the way I'm able to do it is I am taking the supplements that help me. I am getting the massage. I am exercising. I'm eating right. I'm gluten-free. I'm dairy-free. I have a nice, good, balanced diet. So that's one of the ways I'm able to do so much. Doesn't mean I'm cured, but it helps. Other things, we would get rid of a car if we needed to. We would stop driving so much. Mike would work at home instead of going to get comments ready. Instead of going to the library. I would cut the boys' hair again instead of having the boys' hair cut. We would cut back on the holiday stuff. So there is a lot that we could cut back on if we needed to, but we choose not to do that. Now, what do we do for things like vacation? What do we do for things like unexpected, like last year we had a huge like $1,500 dental bill that we hadn't expected. So here's the thing. So we save all the leftover money that we have because we earn way more than this, but we save all that extra money, and that's how we got our house paid off last year. In the last year, how we were able to really crank it out. We didn't have BJ's medical expenses anymore, and we were able to crank it out and get our house paid off. So, like when we went to Branson last November, we had the extra money, even though our house wasn't paid off yet. We had the extra money to go for a vacation, so we did. Are you pulling comments?
Yeah.
So this trip that we're getting ready to take to 4 countries for 7 weeks, $500 a person per week. How are we able to do that? We saved up the cash, and so then we go and use it. So now that our house is paid off, we're doing some more fun things, and we're going to go out and do that. But we're also saving for retirement. Our house is paid off. We're financially set and secure right now. So now we're going to start saving for retirement. And we should be, tragedy could happen any day now. Mike could croak sitting right here at this any minute. And I'd be well off then. Wait a minute. Let's go back to It's a Wonderful Life and think about sitting in Potter's chair for a moment, shall we? No.
In Potter's chair?
Yeah. When he was sitting in Potter's chair.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he's worth more dead than alive? Okay.
Oh, thanks. Except that wouldn't be true.
And we did forget on here, we have life insurance. How much is your life insurance?
I can't remember.
I think it's like $40 a month or something.
Oh, the cost. The cost is $120 a quarter. Yeah, so $40.
Yeah, $40 a month for life insurance. And I would suggest on life insurance, guys, as soon as you can afford it, if you have children or if you have a disabled wife, get life insurance right away. That was the first thing when we started doing better with our income. That was the first thing that we got. I would also say insure the wife. Because if you have kids, now I'm not insurable because of my fibromyalgia, But if we could get life insurance on me, we would, because you don't realize how much wives do until they're gone. And so, like Mike, when the kids were little, he would have been up a creek. He would have had to pay for daycare. He would have had to, have help around the house, probably. So, if there were little kids, but just get more help, I guess, is what I'm saying, with things like daycare. So, I would insure the wife if you can. So, that's the breakdown of what we spend all our money on. And for our expenses, that's not what we spend all our money on, but I mean, that's all of our expenses. And then whatever's left over, then we take and start or saving it or that. Now, we do have, get a first question ready. We do have a good amount of savings in hand. I think we have 6 or 9 months worth of savings. And then the rest we were putting all on paying off the house. And now that the house is done, all that's going to go into savings to invest. So, all right, shoot me the questions.
Oh, you want questions? Just kidding. Actually, a lot of people asking how much is gas in our area.
Gas is $2.59 right now.
Okay.
I thought it was $2.
It's actually been quite a bit lower for a while,
Yeah.
and it's just been going up lately.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was higher near Denver.
And Janice,
Yeah.
what state are you in when you mentioned gas prices? We are in Colorado. And
we live in Colorado, which is the third highest cost of living, only from LA and New York now. So I've looked that up, and they said that Denver metro area is now right. As a matter of fact, I think it's even higher than LA. But LA, New York, and Denver. So we are in one of the highest priced areas. So
Elizabeth, so why don't you look for something that's actually health insurance? So the reason why is health insurance costs us, regular health insurance costs us 3 times as much, but won't cover us until we spend $9,000 out of pocket per person in 1 year.
Yeah.
So really, at our very worst medical situation we ever had, it would only have covered a small amount.
So it was $2,500 a month with a $9,000 deductible per person. We have $500 a month with a $1,500 deductible for the entire family.
Yeah, so what we have actually covers us. It's just that there's certain things it won't cover. Like, it doesn't cover if you have a lifestyle problem that's causing your problem. So, like if you're a smoker, then they don't cover you for problems that are related to smoking.
Yeah. And one other thing, you guys maybe didn't notice, but I wanted to point this out. Do you know what was not on our budget? No car payment. No credit card payments. No student loans. No Kohl's card loans. Guys, this, I saw the Amy said, what is extra money? Right there's the extra money. Because we don't have all of those things in our budget, we now have extra money so that we are able to do fun things like our big trip that we're taking in 9.5 days.
And actually, just for those of you who do have some of those payments, I want to be encouraging to you, because we did used to have credit card debt and what was it?
Medical bills.
And stuff like that. And so trying to figure out how to get out of that debt will free you a lot.
Yeah.
And we have been freed a lot that way. Just one quick thing. Dixie Girl says the average family doesn't have that kind of money to spend monthly just to have insurance. Yes. When we had regular insurance before the Liberty, we spent $18,000 a year, and it wouldn't pay anything.
Yeah.
For any reason. But that was the cheapest, the cheapest plan that there was available.
Yeah. So, affordable health care, no.
Not
that
affordable.
was a joke. It did nothing but increase health costs for everyone. And if you were able to get on Medicaid, that's fine, but Medicaid doesn't cover it. You get crappy doctors. It's horrible medical cares.
Family show,
you get cruddy doctors, medical, all of that. So anyway, yeah.
So, Eileen, term life insurance versus whole life. You should get term. Whole life is really not very useful. It's a waste of money.
My family of 8 spends $1,000 on food. Miss Jenny, you can cut that. Grab our Dining on a Dime cookbook. You can get the ebook right now, 50% off.
For 8, probably half, right?
Yeah, you could get it easy down to $500. And we have proven it. Go back and check out our video. What are good grocery prices all over the country? We don't care where you live. All over the country, all over Canada, we found you can cut your grocery bill, you can do it. So go back and watch some of our old videos.
Marla says, holy crud, I think our sale is $350 to $400 a month. I think a lot of people are. And that's...
350 to, oh, that's another thing that's not on here. Cable. No cable right here, okay? So...
Elizabeth, is it really worth buying a car that inexpensive when you have a lot of maintenance versus buying something a little more that would require less maintenance?
Okay. Right now, let's grab the calculator. Where's the calculator? Okay, dude, Mike's going to calculate this right now. So we paid $3,000 for our car. Okay? We spend approximately $75 a month because that 100 and some odd was for 2 cars. So $75 a month times, we get about 4 years out of a car. So 75 times 12.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I told you wrong. 75 times 12. Times 4.
Times 4?
Mm-hmm. Plus 3,000.
Plus 3,000. So,
all of the maintenance we have to do, plus our car, is $6,600 for 4 years. Now, go to $300 times 12 times 6. $21,000 is how much you would spend. Oh, no, I shouldn't do that. No. Well... Let's see, how should I do that? Just do 300, because I did 4 years for our car. So do 300 times 12 times 4. Okay, so we spent $6,000 on our car. You would spend $14,000 on your car for that same amount of time if you bought a cheap car and had $300 a month payments.
But the $14,000 car, you didn't consider maintenance in that, right?
No, I didn't put maintenance in
that. So here's the problem.
So you would probably be up to $20,000 probably by the time you did maintenance on that too.
Elizabeth has one, there is a good point in there. When we were really tight on the money, we would buy really cheap cars. And there's a certain point where those really cheap cars eventually get to be more expensive than they're worth. Mm-hmm. But now we spend, like $3,000 for a Toyota Camry. And we shop around enough to find, we look at like 8 or 10 of them and find one that's a good price. And then we almost don't have to do any maintenance. That maintenance typically comes in once or twice a year. We have to do something there. So that's really a good price. And we've had a lot of family and friends that have bought newer cars and they still need the maintenance, but the maintenance costs a lot more. Yeah. Each year. Yeah. And here's the thing. And also the registration and the insurance and everything else costs more too. Even if, let's give the best case scenario. Let's say you bought a $30,000 car with cash and you had zero maintenance, which is not true. The maintenance costs a lot more. $30,000 car. You would spend $250 a month more than what we spend our $125 a month. There is no reason, zero, except that you just want a new car. There is no reason that you need to buy a new car for reliability purposes. We have been doing this for 25 years now. We have proved it with over, it's like 15 to 18 cars now. We've actually lost count on our cars. We had 11 car accidents from people totaling our cars. So 3 years, we went through a lot of cars. But we still have never, ever, even in our biggest lemon where the transmission went out and the engine went out, never gone over what it would have cost a new car. We didn't even come close to half of what it would cost for a new car. So, and I think it's fine if you want a new car. That's totally fine. If you want to pay cash for a new car, go for it. I don't care. But just realize you're not doing it to save money. You're not doing it to save money. So now that we have no mortgage and our expenses are going down quite a bit, we're still not planning to really significantly upgrade cars. When I say
No.
not significantly, Tara would like
Well, I would like an SUV just
she
because
would
it would
like
be
an SUV,
easier, but...
a used Toyota SUV.
So if anybody has a Toyota Highlander with less than 100,000 miles and less than $7,000, please email me and let me know.
that will cost a little bit more than my typical $3,000
Yeah.
sedan. But even the ones that we get, like the one I have right now is Toyota Camry. It's a 2000. When we got it, it had like 60,000 miles on it. It was the guy's grandma's car, and it's really had almost no problems in the 4 years that we've had it. So.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. So sorry. Kenneth, I thank God for y'all have helped me a lot by me living on a dime on my new teacher salary.
Yay,
thank
good.
you.
I'm so glad.
Teresa's trying to do away with our big storage. Yes, that would be a big waste.
Yeah, we don't have storage fees on here either. I'm telling you, unless you're moving, there's no reason for a storage shed. You need to get your stuff down so it fits in where you live. Period.
And if you can sell it, then you might even be able to make a little money on the deal.
Yeah, there's no reason for storage sheds. And I come from a hoarding family, so don't give me none of that. I know.
Marie said, "Oh my!" I'm not sure she was talking about us or something else, but she said there are a lot of extras in there. That surprises me. Not in the,
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what we're saying. This is a very liberal budget for us. We could actually probably cut $1,000 out of here fairly easily, and still be fine. So, okay, next question.
But we used to do that when we really needed to do that.
Yep.
Let's see. Sharon made your apricot chicken today, and it was a hit.
Yay! Is your house electric or do you have gas for heat? We have gas for heat and electric for AC. Did you say your children are 31? No.
No, she's not saying that. Where's the 31? Do you say children 31 years of age should be working to help out?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I mean, unless they are
They're not a child, though.
Yeah, unless
they're an adult.
They're an adult. Unless they have some sort of major disability, and I'm not talking about depression and anxiety here. I'm sorry. Don't give me that about depression and anxiety being a reason why you can't get out and work. You get your butt out there and work. That's why you're depressed.
They're like low functioning
Believe me.
autism, I could see it.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
if they're adult kids and they have Down syndrome or autism or
Like
some
Balboa.
major, disability of some sort, that's totally different. We're not talking about that. Able-bodied kids or adults living in your home should be helping out. You are doing them a huge disservice if you do not make them pay rent and pay for their expenses.
So,
Unless, the only way I would say that is if an adult child is helping an elderly parent be their caregiver, okay, I'll give you that. So.
let's see. Sorry, there was another one there. Carol never felt more free than when we paid off our mortgage. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Jenny Wu Mosley, how much was your house? It was $205,000.
Yeah. Shirley, do you expect full-time college kids to support themselves? Yes and no. So, if our kids were in college, we would allow them to stay home and we would pay their rent and we would pay their food. But they would pay all of their car insurance, all of their cell phone, all of their clothes. We would pay their medical. But all of their optional things like clothes and cell phone and car insurance, all of that they would pay.
Actually, Marcia, I disagree. I've never seen a car with under $24,000 for $3,000. Yeah, you're not going to get a car for under $24,000 with $3,000, but I paid $3,000 for a car with 59,000 miles on it, and it's supposed to go to 400,000, and it's well on the way.
Yeah, all of our cars we have purchased, except one, have had under $100,000. Our two vans we paid $5,000 and $6,000 for. All our other cars we paid $3,000 for, and then Ellie's Saturn had 180,000 miles on it, and we paid $1,500 for it 5 years ago. And it is got 100,000 more miles on it since then. So no, don't.
But
you can find it. You're just not looking hard enough.
It's a myth about it's a myth on the mileage being making it a safer car, because I used to drive 90 miles each way every day, and a car that had over 100,000 miles, and we kept it maintained, and it didn't really take a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
And it was totally reliable that way.
Yeah.
So
let's see. What was... Oops, where'd it go? Everybody loves your haircut, Jack! The biggest mistake we ever made was buying new cars. Yep, Emily. I'm telling you, new cars are just a ripoff. And if you have cash to pay for them, that's fine. But if you can make payments, you can save up.
Lynn, we pay $125 for our internet. Yes, a lot of our neighbors do too. And we're a little less, well, actually, we're about half that now. But the only reason we're as high as we are is because of the business.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got here?
Okay, those we've gotten. So let's take a look over here.
Okay.
400 kilometer in miles. It would be about 200 miles, but there's not exactly.
Yeah. My sister lives in her Highlander. I hear everybody loves them. I've been looking for a year now. We're still driving our $500 Saturn that's busted to shreds. I mean, it's got broken fender, everything. So we're driving that until we save up our money. Why only 4 years out of a car? Because we live in Colorado, and people have been crashing into us. They have the 11 car accidents we had in 3 years. 2 of them was our teenagers' fault, new drivers. That's okay. The other 9 accidents were other people hitting us, totaling our cars.
And it's things like just running into you at a stoplight because you were there, and the light was red.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things that we were having happen. Thankfully, it hasn't happened in, knock on wood, a number of years now.
Yeah.
So that's great. Let's see. Yes. Oh, that's your mom. I'm not an expert on cars, but I think Toyotas are good ones. You really have to ask a car guy. Yeah, we
stick with Toyotas and Hondas now if we can.
We didn't used to, but since we got a Toyota, we just haven't had any problems. So.
Yep.
Let's see.
All right. Yeah, we don't have cable. We don't do anything like that. We don't do a lot of recreational stuff. So we will also get a park pass, which costs us about $6 a month, to the national park here. And we go up there for our entertainment to do picnics and fire pits. We'll go maybe to do something expensive like the Renaissance Festival once a year. Ellie did take the boys to the zoo, but that's the first time they've been since we've been in Colorado for 8 years. So occasionally we'll do things. And now that everything is paid off, we're going to do some fun stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting here thinking, as soon as we get back from Ireland...
Yes.
And England and Norway and Scotland, that for Christmas we need to go to Australia and New Zealand.
Whoa, in the same year? Mind blown.
I'm only kidding, guys.
That would be, we have a lot of friends we like to see down there.
But it would be so fun to go see Amy too, who's not on right now.
It would certainly. Becky, thinking of cutting the cable bill, pay $111 a month, the cheap plan, which includes internet. Wow. How much is an average internet bill? I'm not really sure. Our internet bill, the internet part of it was, how much did we say?
It was $109.
But it went down recently to like $60. And
a lot of people tell us they're about $50.
So that's great. And that's, of course, they introduced some other plans so we could pay the same price if we want and get a lot faster. But we'll have to see if we really need to. Yeah. And cable, we discovered years ago, we had a reason that we didn't want it we just wanted to get rid of it. Once we got rid of it, we realized we didn't miss it. Yeah, so back to the car thing. We always try to get cars that are under $100,000. If it's a sedan, we try to get it to be $3,000, $3,500. If it's a van or an SUV, we try to keep it in the $5,000 to $7,000 range. And for people that say, well, that's pretty low, well, the reality is this is Colorado. The prices are high, but we look at ones in that price range, and we usually look at 6 to 10 cars, and a whole bunch of them are dumpy cars at that price, and then suddenly we find the one that's a gem.
Yeah. And we
And
look
every
quite a
time
while.
we found it.
Yeah, and we look quite a while. We really look. I spend every day looking on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist looking, but the amount of money we save is way worth the amount of time.
It's
I mean,
much less
I get
than the time,
paid like $500 an hour for the amount of time we spend looking for cars and going and test driving used cars versus just going to the lot and buying one. So for $500 an hour payment for that's the amount we save. It's definitely worth it. We are leaving on our trip in 9.5 days. Woo!
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Stop doing counseling. We're doing comments.
Fine. Who's going to be doing the show? So we're going to do videos that are pre-recorded, and then when we can, which will probably be, you think, twice a week?
We're gonna try and go live twice a week. We're gonna try and go live at least once a week. We're gonna try twice a week, but then we're gonna have videos that we put up in between of doing family stuff.
But
so,
but that's going to be not at the normal time. So I'm not sure how we're going to figure out. I think if you're subscribed, it tells you when we come on, but it won't be at the normal time because we're going to be 7 hours in the future there.
Yeah.
So
everybody loves the new haircut.
I don't like it.
We won't tell them what happened with the haircut debacle yesterday, will we?
But you still look pretty handsome.
You still look really handsome.
Somebody was asking about the supplements because she said she had fibro.
I have a whole video that I've done on our supplements. I'll list them really quick while Mike's getting another question. Yeah.
This is actually one I wanted to answer earlier.
Okay.
Janet, go ahead.
Let me do my supplements real fast. I'm on NADH, vitamin D, vitamin B12 methylated. I'm on fish oil, magnesium, calcium, trace minerals, and biotin, and then ibuprofen, Aleve, and aspirin rotating. And then every now and then I'll try a new supplement and see if it helps me. Okay. Yes. Question.
Amy says paid off 3 doctor bills, working on credit cards now. Yes.
Good job.
Janet, do you mostly, Tara and Mike, do you mostly purchase used vehicles from individuals or car lots? Almost always individuals.
I don't think we've ever... Okay, we did purchase one from a car lot, but here's the thing. It was on eBay in Florida. And here's the thing. People are like, well, I don't want to go all the way to Florida to get a new car. Guys, it was worth the $250 plane ticket that it would have cost us. We happened to have some friends going out there, so they picked it up for us and drove it back. But it would have cost us $250. Huge savings. We found it on eBay. It was one of our best cars. I love that car. Wonderful.
Hey, one other thing on the cars too, because Miss T was giving Amy some advice here. Yes, that was one thing on the cars. We do have a sort of a limit. If we come and they say, and we find out that the cost is going to be astronomically high to replace the car, we will sell it. And we will tell the people that buy it, this is what they told us, and they'll still buy it, and then we'll go buy something else. But if one thing,
I sell dead cars all the time. I mean, dead.
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I tell Ellie this all the time. They will take it. A lot of mechanics will take advantage of you if you're a woman and you go there by yourself. Sorry, it shouldn't be that way, but the reality is it is. And if you go to a place that's like a drive-in, like it's just all about tires, or Midas. I'm gonna name Midas by name. But if you go to places like that, those places are you'll go in there for a $20 item and they'll come out with a list of $4,000 worth of repairs. Do not immediately believe that. You'd want to find just a regular old mechanic, preferably a mom and pop mechanic, and he'll probably be more honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's one way we save on car repairs too, is we don't just go.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Moringa. Yes, I have tried that. Okay, I'm going to quickly address the anxiety thing, guys. Okay. Oh, dear.
I can feel it coming. I can feel the energy building.
The kinder, gentler Tara is coming out. I understand. We have Mr. Anxiety here.
Believe me, I have had and still sometimes experience a great deal of anxiety.
Is anxiety plus, okay?
Just because you don't see it.
Grew up in an alcoholic home, very abusive, mental illness in the family. He has worked his butt off fighting his anxiety. And I am sorry. We have been through a lot dealing with it. Don't sit there and tell me there is nothing you can do about it. I know how crippling it is. I know how debilitating it is. And you get your butt up, you get to the doctor, you take your medication, you get your counseling, and you stop making excuses. You can be ticked off at me all you want.
But it's the truth.
But it's the truth. And you need to get the help you need. Stop whining about how bad you feel and start doing something about it. It's the same thing with my fibromyalgia. I have spent 15 years and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars that we didn't have when we were making $20,000 and $30,000 a year. Going to the doctor, trying different supplements, seeing what things would help, and I am off the couch and I am up, at least able to do some things now. I'm not cured by any means, but the thing that's going to keep you in that state is you making excuses and not doing what you need to do to get the help that you need. So I'm sorry, this is going to be a Tara moment of tough love, but we have been through it. With Mike and his anxiety, me and my fibromyalgia, we have had to fight for every stinking thing we have to get to where we are. And it has not been pleasant. Let me tell ya.
But I will say, being the person the anxiety person, just because you don't see it, maybe, doesn't mean that it's not there. And it's been a big struggle my whole life. But I've realized with anxiety, no matter how bad it is, because it's been very crippling at times. And I'm actually amazed to see where I am now compared to where I've been, but it still gets me sometimes. And I've realized the thing with anxiety is you can't hide from it. And what I mean by that is if you let your anxiety rule you, it will. So somebody one time told me this, and I think it was brilliant, that it's like you live your life in a bubble, and either you're pushing the bubble out or it's coming in on you. And so with anxiety, and believe me, I have really struggled with it on a very high level for many years. But I can tell you that the way generally to get past it is to challenge it all the time. The things that you're most anxious about, you need to face them. And I know it's hard. It's really hard. And believe me, I know it's hard. And for me, I found that the medical or the medicines and things are helpful in kind of easing you through something. But at the end of the day, pretty much you have to identify what is the problem and really face it head on. And it's hard. I'm not going to tell you it's not hard, but I realized that the only option is that. It's kind of like us paying off the debt. You pay off the debt, and suddenly you're a lot more free with your money. With the anxiety, you challenge it, and it's frustrating, and you can't breathe, and you're just sick of dealing with it. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. But if you kind of let it ride on you and keep you from doing things, it will get worse, and you'll feel worse. And I can say this after 40 years of experience with this, and it's been bad where I've been horribly terrified to do just about anything. So, in fact, Tara saw me almost kill myself over a bee when we were first dating.
So, guys, I appreciate how hard it is, but you got to get your butt up and work on it. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Mike's been working on it for 25 years now. And
Well,
so.
and Ayla says, I didn't work for 5 years due to my anxiety. Finally decided enough was enough. I'm still on anxiety meds. Getting myself in a schedule and getting up, getting ready for work has helped my anxiety. And that's exactly, for me, I was thinking when I was totally overwhelmed by it, I just thought, what can I do to challenge this just a little bit? And then, okay, this is terrifying. I need to go back. But the thing is, it's constantly challenging that and not letting it take over because it will consume you. And
Amen.
And you gotta.
I'm sorry, guys. This is the year of no excuses. Really, we have really been putting the hammer down hard on excuses this year, because what we are finding is 99% of the people that come to us, it is all excuses. It is extremely rare that people have true financial difficulties to the point where they can't do anything at all to get out of it. There are those cases occasionally. I get them, and I try to help those people as much as I can. But I will tell you, 99% of the time, there is something they can be doing. They just don't want to. So.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. All right. So we're not still buffering, Dave?
No. It's still up on here.
Jennifer, I love living in my bubble.
I know.
Yeah, Margaret, therapy has helped me with my panic attacks. And I have known a lot of people who are close to me with virtually the same problem, who have resisted therapy and thought I'm as brave as I can. I'm bold enough on my own, and it's just not good for them.
And if you need to take a pill to help you with it, then do it. There's nothing wrong with that. God created these pharmaceuticals to help us. I am not against that by any means.
And another thing I want to say is, if you struggle with anxiety and you're feeling kind of defensive about what Tara said, what she's trying to say is she doesn't want this to constantly be on top of you all the time. And the thing is, it's okay if you're on disability because you have anxiety, and it's okay if you need medication. But the goal shouldn't be to stay there always. The goal should be, how can I improve from where I am to the next step of less anxiety? Because honestly, I've set aside a lot of it, but some of it's still there. And recently, in the last year probably, it was really coming on hard. And I realized, it's so much better when you can, yes, use those things as needed. But if you can get yourself into a better place emotionally, it's hard. And it's a challenge, and it's really painful sometimes to go through that. But it will be a lot better than staying in that place.
And another thing.
So she's not trying to be mean. What she's saying is, hey, don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, and another thing, stop watching a bunch of baloney on TV and networks. We have family members that have huge anxiety, and you know what the things that they watch? CSI. What's that? Law and Order. The news is never off. The Weather Channel with all of the hurricanes going on and all of this other stuff. Stop watching that stuff. If you are a Christian, you need to start watching things that are uplifting.
Even if you're not, you should be watching things that are uplifting.
Joyce Meyer, David Jeremiah, Dr. Charles Stanley, who's the guy in Texas, Dallas? Chuck Swindoll. Watch preachers that are encouraging, that can help you uplift yourself instead of thinking of all the problems that are happening in the world. Stop watching the news. Stop reading the newspaper. Start watching comedies. We hardly ever watch drama shows because they're depressing. I'm not going to sit here and, after dealing with everything in my life all day long, watch a depressing show. My children are back there laughing at their mother. But we try to always watch comedies.
Actually, we really, I went to a film school before my TV career, and people were always saying, oh, this is such a moving emotional statement on something. I don't want a moving emotional statement. I want a happy movie, because I've lived enough unhappy, and I don't want to be putting my brain in that place.
Yeah.
Lynn says, yes, it is hard. I know I have anxiety, PTSD, you need to find first what causes it and then take care of it. Does not happen, cure overnight. It takes time and hard work, but you can. And Lynn, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, sometimes
and you're always going to be working on it.
And sometimes, at first, I wasn't really sure what the problem was, but shortly after we got married, I had a doctor give me some antidepressants and said, well, sometimes. But then I realized, wow, there's something else here, and counseling really helped. And I liked the counseling a lot better. But initially, that was helpful to just kind of help me to stand down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I'm saying is, just like Lynn said here, it is hard. And sometimes when you find the cause, it's sometimes extremely painful and terrifying to have to actually face that.
Yeah.
But if you get a good counselor, they can walk you through that in a way that helps relieve it greatly.
Luann says, so true. I was always told I was nothing and dumb, but I finally tried to do what I always wanted. And I got into nurse's school, but then I found out I have a weak heart, but at least I know I tried. Exactly. Okay, so maybe that didn't quite work for you, Luann, but you tried and you know you can do it. That's fine. Then you would just take and shoot off from something else that you would like to do. I would love to do what I went to school for, which is horticulture. I would love to be outside gardening all day long for my job. I would love that. I can't. I have chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. I can go out and garden for 15 to 20 minutes a day, and that's all I can handle. I know that, but I at least go out and do what I can. And I know that's not directly related to nursing, but maybe you could go help and be a friend to some older person who needs help, and you could just go and help them and be with them. There's lots of different ways you can do things, even if it's not what you dreamed of. I never dreamed when I was in high school that I would be chronically sick and this would be my life. Do you think somebody wants this for their life? No. But I keep going forward and trying and doing the next thing. To my problem, I do it to a fault to where I wear myself out physically. And so now I have to work on trying to balance having a life and being sick. You would think I would have figured it out by 30 years later, but, so I have to balance those kinds of things so that I know when we go on this trip, even though I'm going to want to make a video every single day, we're not going to be doing that. So, anyway.
Well, and like Tara with the fibromyalgia and the chronic fatigue syndrome, she told me when we first got married, she realizes this is probably never going away. And after all this time, I realized it's probably not. But even if you have a problem and it's not going away completely, if you have the choice, you can live it and try to make the best of it or not. Actually, did you see...
Shonda Pierce and Tim Hawkins. We love Shonda Pierce and Tim Hawkins.
And what was just the other lady you listened to with Left Brain?
Jeannie Robertson. She's hilarious. We love all of them. If you guys need a good laugh, go check out Shonda Pierce. And she has dealt with depression and anxiety. And watch her movie. It's really moving, the story of her life. And she's a comedian. And people will say things like, I'll say something about Mike dying or me dying, and we'll be laughing about it. And people will say, oh, well, that's just so morbid. How dare you talk about something like that? That's so morbid. None of us are getting out of here alive unless Jesus comes back first. So you got a 1 in a 1 chance of croaking someday.
You can tell Dave's heard that before.
You can tell. We talk about dying all the time around here because
we're not
it's going to happen.
We're not planning to do it real soon, but we're not afraid of it either.
But we're not afraid of it. And for us, it's because we're Christians. We know when we die, we are going to heaven. But you don't need to be afraid of these things and stop dwelling on them. Start dwelling on things that are positive and happy and light. So.
And Julia wants to know how old we are. I'm 49. She's 22.
Oh, wait.
You got
are you
younger
saying
since you
I
got
don't
married.
look my real age of 39? I'm 46. So, yeah. I am 46, right? Am I 46?
Yes.
I'm 46.
So anyway, well.
Okay. Let's see.
What's funny also, hey, something else I have to say on the one more thing on the anxiety thing is there are times where I have to go to Tara and say, okay, I can't trust my interpretation of this moment. Can you tell me, is this realistic or not? Because I realize sometimes I cannot trust my judgment in those moments.
Yes.
And particularly when it involves certain types of conflict that resemble the conflict that originated a lot of it.
Or like this trip is causing a lot of anxiety for Mike trying to get ready because, when you're self-employed, you don't get to just take off 7 weeks. You have to work. You have to work 16-hour days for 7 weeks before you leave, so you can take off 7 weeks. Okay, so for poor Mike, he's been working from like 8 a.m. until 9. Well, I've really been pulling him in at 9, sometimes 9:30 at night, every single day since we just, except for Sundays, but every 6 days a week since we decided to go on this trip to try and get everything done and in place to go. And so his anxiety has been really, really bad. But you've actually been doing fairly well, with the exception of this morning, which we won't go into details, but we'll just say. But
What'd you say?
nothing.
All right.
I said nothing.
I better not have heard that.
But
recently I've actually taken other steps to make it improve.
yes. And that's why in our medical, we have $200 a month that we allow for things like counseling, or right now there's a special therapy that we are doing to help with his anxiety and to help with my pain. And so,
Thank you, Eileen.
so,
Thank you.
Yes, Mike is really going to try and chill out. And it hasn't helped, like with this, we had enough to do as it was. And then we had a major book printing issue come up that was not expected. And then what was the other big issue we just dealt with? I can't remember what it was now, but we were just, I completely deleted the new book off the computer.
Oh yeah, that was
The only copy was gone.
Anxiety went from like 0 to 1,000.
Actually, it was pretty mellow.
Actually,
at
we
that.
were calm through it, but Mike and BJ were able to find it, but he had to spend like almost 6 hours.
We went full out FBI on that and figured out how to save
Having
it.
to go FBI, CIA, trying to figure out where these deleted files, because they were gone. I mean, the book was gone, and I told Mike, I said, you have to find it. I'm really, really sorry. I know I totally screwed up. I'm so sorry, but if you don't find it, I am not rewriting it. It's going to have to happen next year. I can't do it again. And so he's like, okay, let me give it a try. And we had decided he would work
5 tries.
Yeah, well, we decided we would give it 2 days. And if it was gone after, I don't know if I told you this. I had decided we will give it 2 days. And if we didn't find it after 2 days, it was gone.
Oh, BJ and I
letting
knew
it go.
This is like the computer didn't have 2 days.
Yeah. So I was like, I can't do it again. And so we've even had stuff like that. So, even things like that. So anyway.
Do not delete on it.
Yes, I wrote do not delete on it, and I deleted it.
So, Marcia, therapy through a psychiatric practice or a minister pastor? Both. Sometimes one and sometimes the other. Typically, because my faith is super important to me, I have generally looked for Christian counselors, but often professional Christian counselors. But we have gone to some at church as well.
Yeah.
But the professional ones have a little more experience with trying to help people untie their binds.
Okay, the comedians were Shonda, Chonda, Pierce, Tim Hawkins, and Jeannie Robertson.
All right, so I guess that would be about it.
All right, so we have 2 more shows.
Oh, thank you, Shannon.
Oh,
I've never met you,
Shannon.
Mike and Tara, but I can tell you how much you've helped me personally. Thank you. You know what,
Yay.
Shannon? I think we feel the same way every time we see all those hearts on your comments.
Yeah.
So, yes, Lynn. Tara is in back up her work now mode.
Oh, have mercy. I'm sending it to my assistants. I'm sending it to Mom. I'm sending it to my brother. I send it to everybody now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if our house burns down, here's the new book. Because the new book is written. Mom put in her corrections yesterday for rewriting the recipes. When we find the recipes, we go in and rewrite them. Janelle and Heidi, the computer was sent off to them today to start typesetting it. We are hoping we can have it out by Thanksgiving to mail for Christmas. I don't know. We're really working hard.
Yeah, I think
know.
we're cautiously optimistic that we're on that track.
Yeah.
So yay.
So
yes. Who is it that said? Somebody said it would be worth taking it to a computer guy, and we would have. Although BJ and I are pretty highly skilled in that area, so but Tara did say if we have to send this off somewhere and pay to get this back, it would be worth it. But
I told him if we had to pay $1,000 or $1,500, it'd probably be worth it.
Because we would be losing.
You
the
should
whole
go into
book.
cybersecurity.
So, actually,
be good at
BJ knew the better software.
BJ's the man.
But somebody said if it was on Windows computer, it would be in the trash folder. Yeah.
I emptied the trash.
She emptied the trash multiple times.
And then I exported an 8-hour video because I'm starting a new YouTube channel.
What?
When we get back.
No.
And I exported.
I find it out here first, folks.
I exported an 8-hour video that would have rewritten most of it. So yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, guys.
So,
it's been great to have you here. Does BJ get a bonus? Actually, I told Tara we should bribe him somehow.
I'll give him a hug. Okay, so my headband came from Dollar Tree like 2 years ago. I'm glad you like it, Denise. Thank you. So, all right, guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Please check out our ebooks. 50% off all our ebooks, including our Dining on a Dime cookbook. If you want a print book, back orders until September 1st. So sorry about that, but it could not be helped. Please like, subscribe, and share. And please know that we are only trying to help you. I know I'm yelling at you, but guys, sometimes you need to be yelled at to get a wake-up call. That's why Mike's here to give you, I'm the bad cop, he's the good cop. But together, we're hoping you guys can help get it together, people.
One little P.S. When Tara and I were dating, right, with the bee thing, I had a total anxiety breakdown moment over a bee. And she was the same way with me. Get it together, Michael. And I was kind of offended at the time, but I later realized she's right. And it's been a blessing to be married to you. Dear.
Oh, thanks. I'll keep you too. Here, should we smooch? Oh, you can't smooch. You gotta kick her sore. I'm sorry. Here, I'll smooch you.
You still smooched anyway. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. It'll be great to see you next week before we go, and then while we're gone, hopefully we can bring you with us, at least in a virtual way.
And we are hopefully going to get our video shot on how we planned our trip. That's on the to-do list still. I know. And we have 2 more shows, and then we are on vacation. Vacation.
Sorry.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Holiday Road.